Alright, so Live Saga TV, welcome once more. Welcome once again. And let's get to it. Alright. So I'm giving time for people to gather here before we start this. Look for a sweater. Umeva. Annabelle don't let us sweater. I'm mtu mzuri. I don't know whether it's T or Annabelle. Bring me a sweater. Alright guys, so I'm starting. I was waiting for people to come here, but 1 minute is enough. Once I wait for 1 minute, I cannot wait anymore. So let's start it, okay? So during the day, I didn't have time again to do another live stream, but I appreciate that I'm here to do this. So welcome. Thank you. Welcome, and let's get to it, guys. Okay. Yeah, so in Kenya, there's a lot of sagas. Some are just sickening. So once again, Kenya is going to give a lot of money to America in the name of business. I do not know whether that's an investment for Trump, whether Trump will consider it as an investment. I'm yet to know, guys. All right? I'm yet to know. Thomas the Legend is here. Moderator OP Leuje. Thank you so much. You can actually take that duty because soon we'll be somewhere. I know. I'm so hopeful because here people are really working and coming to watch. So I'll really appreciate Thomas the Legend for that. If you take over that, I really appreciate. Thank you so much. La Bubu. So I'll be considering that. I don't know. I should press somewhere to... Where do I press to engage Thomas the Legend as the moderator? I'll be checking where I should do that so that we engage in this business, okay? Labubu, thank you so much. And Labubu is saying Yamero is Halloween. I think this is more of Mexican language. I don't know. So I appreciate your presence. And we can actually come on live and talk about Kenya. Kenya, you have a lot of shenanigans. A lot. Every day, if you decide to talk about it, I think when people will be, once we get about 1,000 subscribers and watch hours, I think we'll be getting to finally have videos released, maybe just about 7 minutes, seven minutes in a day. We'll be releasing even 5 videos, so that we don't mix up stuff. But for now, with the live stream, we'll have to mix up a lot of stuff together, and so that we go on. So I know people are coming, and I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, because we have a lot of people who watch us, by the way. But some of them have not subscribed to the channel. I don't know whether they watch and then at the end they don't remember to subscribe. But I'm so appreciative that some of the live streams are even getting 700 views, some 500 views, and so much. That means a world. A lot, okay? What is that? I can see something there. But I appreciate Thomas the Legend. and Labubu, and everybody else watching. And I know this political stuff has a lot of people who want to watch and see what is happening. So currently in Kenya, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. In fact, the case going on for Governor MUTAI of Kericho, and a lot of questions being asked. In fact, Halwale, you remember, if you've seen Halwale asking whether he can trust the lawyer, the government lawyer for the government lawyer for Governor MUTAI, because he has ever actually been fraudulent. He has been fraudulent in some cases. Thank you so much for the 2 likes. I don't know whether it's Labubu and Thomas or anybody else, but I still appreciate it. And I know so many people will be coming by. Just thank you and welcome. All right. So let me check on some video showing us this. There was some video somewhere showing us about Halwale and his view towards what's happening. I hope I'll get it soon, because I had checked it earlier and I had seen what's happening. I was like, what is this? All right. So it is what it is, guys. So in Kenya, sometimes you just get to wonder. But let me check on this one here. Yeah. So trusting even the lawyer in a case of corruption in a Senate becomes a difficult task. And Halwale has been so vocal of late, because he realized that it doesn't pay to actually continue keeping quiet. And he's been grilling this governor. Remember, Governor MUTAI is one of the favorites of RUTO. I don't know whether he will let him be fried like fish. Will he really let that to happen? Thomas the Legend says the government. Yeah, the government. And Governor MUTAI is actually the governor of Kericho. For those of you who don't know, Kericho is on the extreme end, almost at the borders of Kenya from the Tanzanian side. It's almost near Masai Mara, you know. And Kericho is one of the places which has really had a lot of advantages, especially when it comes to tea. They are the producers of tea in Kenya, all right? Yet, there are so many allegations which have been laid on that governor, not once, not twice, and he was being secured somehow by the president, who said that the MCS should not take the cases forward. But recently, the governors had to do so, especially when the president himself was whistleblowing matters of corruption, rather complaining that some money were given to parliamentarians and somebody just had to keep it in the pocket instead of giving to those who are supposed to get it for passing some laws. And I was like, are you complaining, or are you suggesting that it was okay, but the only problem is one person ate? And therefore you've been backstabbed with a lot of what we call extortion, to a level that the house is full of that. For those of you who have watched Oroba has been also talking about the same, but sometimes it's only bitter when you experience something. However, when other people are experiencing, you kind of brush them aside. Oroba was one of the people who was actually arguing for an online restriction on the young people, the Gen Zs, and even currently some of them are laughing her, because when people are complaining about the spying and actually checking on private information, she was very vocal talking about supporting the government and all that. Now let's get to it. Let's get to it and see what Halwale did here before we can proceed, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, ours is a live stream, so we cannot break and talk about one thing or the other, you know. And MCA Martin Cheriot had to come out and say that he doesn't know whether to vote to impeach Governor Eric MUTAI or not, because he feared he would be manipulated. And I'm like, okay, manipulated by who and why? Okay, so let's first check on Halwale, then we'll go to Martin Cheriot. Okay, we'll be checking on Martin Cheriot later, but let's check on Halwale and what he had to say.
Mr. Speaker, KENYAN has been in this Senate before over similar proceedings, and knowing his good name and reputation, he's going to come again and again. Katwa, Parliament, the way Parliament works, even the Speaker has no idea how many members, if he was to ask them to stand, have stood. He then asks the sergeant at arms to confirm how many members are standing. Having taken over the power of the speaker in Kericho illegally, how did you know that 18 MCAs were standing? Something which is clearly against the standing orders, and you want us to make a decision on impeachment based on that either misconduct of or misunderstanding. Is it not, Kanzo Kigwa, the case of garbage in, garbage out? You want the Senate to be known for being an institution that uses garbage to produce garbage decisions? Yes. My second issue is on the witness. Paul B., when he stood in that video and shouted, "I abstain," we agree. But that only obtains during division on manual voting. That's when you stand and shout one way or the other. So how do you want that shouting to count during electronic voting, where the voting is not by shouting the way Paul B. was shouting? The propriety of my having asked the 18 MCS to stand.
So of course you heard Halwade, you heard him loud and clear. He was questioning the speaker, you know, because the speaker is not actually an appropriate person. He took over power in a wrongful way. So Halwade had to ask whether the speaker is really worth, because if they have to vote on impeachment of Governor MUTAI, that is Katwa Kigen, we realized that the speaker had taken leadership illegally, the functions of Kericho Assembly illegally. So if at all he is allowed to, you know, to impeach the governor, it means that he's just as garbage as as the governor. You understand the reasoning here? Then the other thing is that on the witness, we realize that the witness is actually for telling, or rather for telling what has to happen, you know. So actually the entire case in that is going on impeachment is quite funny, you know, quite funny. MCA Martin Cheruyot also on the other side said that he could not vote to impeach the governor because he feared manipulation. What does that mean? It means that there's a lot of corruption around the place, you know. Let's listen to this.
Honorable MCA, you have stated that you did not vote because you feared manipulation. Manipulation by who? And who had the admin rights during these proceedings of the governor's impeachment?
Honorable Speaker, that one I can say, since the Speaker declined to give us the roll call voting, then we feared manipulation from the Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Perry. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
People did not vote before because they feared manipulation from the speaker. So what are they saying? What are they trying to say? All right. Anyway, these are the some of the shenanigans we get in our government. But let's all go on to the rogue government. If you've been checking on the Twitters by Maverick, Maverick has been dropping sugar after sugar, tea after sugar, tea, ginger after tea. You know, Maverick is one of the people who has been dropping a lot of ginger lately. And I'm just looking for that part whereby she has really revealed a lot, including the fact that RUTO, Raila, and who else, they own a company together. And that is why they are trying to privatize. They are privatizing almost all the organizations in Kenya. Let me check on this one. And see whether I'll get to view that. I think I had viewed it somewhere. It's just to cross-check. But the reality is that there is a lot of corruption still going on. And the very top of top, or cream la de creme, have been slowly by slowly owning organizations and cheating that they are selling, you know. So I'm just looking for that part of how the administration of the Kenyan government is swindling Kenyans slowly by slowly. Let me check the videos I was watching earlier on. Treasure. Yeah, so let's check this one.
What's up, my people? So, Maverick Kaoko has exposed RUTO again. RUTO was in Japan, and
so this lady here, known as Maverick Kaoko, this one here, she has exposed a lot in government, with the president being in Japan and all other events. She has come up with hot tea to reveal what has been happening, all right? And with that, let's be checking on the details from the accounts Maverick has been addressing, or rather sending some details. Now look at this, Maverick exposing this. Maverick has been saying that RUTO, while in Japan, conducted what is called honor suicide, you know. And from Maverick's end, she's saying that there is corruption that would commit a lot of suicide in Kenya, saying that in 2023, they began they began to resign. Yeah, in Kenya, the most corrupt officials are personal friends. Okay, and you can check that. So in Japan, of course, if you read the book An Artist of the Floating World, if you really conduct corruption in Japan, you may actually have to be forced to conduct suicide. And that is what happened in Japan. Most of the people who had scandals had to kill themselves, because Japan takes matters of corruption seriously. It's not allowed even for you to work in a company and receive gifts. However, the contrary happens in Kenya. In Kenya, people receive gifts, they receive presents, they receive money left and right. So when you compare the case of Japan and Kenya, it's a different case. So you see that in Kenya, the friends are free to conduct corruption, you know. There's a lot of bribery going on. But when you look at Japan, any attempt to do that lead to what we call decision to conduct suicide. And when you read Artist of the Floating World, I don't know why people fear that book, but it reveals a lot about Japan and what it really means to be sane in government. Because you practice any scrupulous process, you'll end up killing yourself, because people will not stand you. People don't have time for corruption. However, in Kenya, it is the opposite. Now, Maverick dropped this hot soup, saying that every time, you know, the president was saying that every time he goes to Japan, he is struck by the high ambition and discipline and infrastructure. Does he know why this happens? It happens because there is no corruption that is condoned in Japan. So why is he even being struck by that? You know, the only way for Kenya to actually even approach Japan, which I don't know whether it will be in dreams, because if we still have leaders who are focused towards corruption, how are we going to see the vision, the ambition, and the discipline that the president says he saw in Japan? Because on 28th August 2025, that is when the president dropped that soup. Okay, so Maverick has gone further to indicate a lot of scandals, and has said that Japanese official, anyone who conducts corruption, they have to conduct suicide, because no one will stand them. All right, Maverick dropped another soup. If you are a fan of Maverick on Twitter, you realize that again she's there. She says that when the president went to Madagascar and saw Simpleton saying he shares humble beginnings with the president. Hey, you know, what it was meant, it was C was born in a middle class. Yeah, Modi of India was also a tea hawker, different backgrounds, but they look at India and China Yeah, so they are visionary people. So Maverick was saying that it's not like our own president, who though says he sold chicken before he became the president. But the reality is that if you give him the second term, just because he used to walk barefoot while going to school, that is not enough. You have to give him second term based on what he does. So Maverick has been dropping a lot of ginger everywhere. Okay, so if you check around the internet, what you'll see will amaze you. She also revealed that they were trying to actually deal with her Twitter account because of what she's dropping. And she said that even if she dies, will that change Kenya? And that is what Maverick dropped again. William Kamket MP Tiati, unakosea. So you are going wrong. When Kenyans respect you, you also have to respect them, because if you don't, you are messing them. You said you will bring Pokot bandits to the, to the city during the Sabasaba Day. Now you are bragging about rigging, rigging in elections 2027, which is a recipe to genocide as what happened in Rwanda. Your wife, Immaculate Kasait, is a data commissioner IBC. So what are you telling us? Now look at that. Hey, Kenya. What happens around Kenya? Actually, I don't know whether people know this. Do people know this? And Oscar Sudi, of course, was also bragging about the same. So what are they trying to tell us about IEBC? So Maverick has been dropping hot cake and hot cake all the time. She's even saying that people are still looking towards killing her, yet she's in Namibia proceeding with her studies, and she has only been spending time and sleeping late when she doesn't have the class next day. All right? So you realize that she's there focused to be a woman rep. She wants to be a women rep for Nairobi, and she went to Namibia to proceed with her degree. Okay? So Maverick also dropped another hot cake, whereby she talked about the fact that there is control of energy, sugar, drugs, and everything in the country, So she has been defending Uhuru, but it's sad because she has learned that Starbucks is a company belonging to RUTO. 99% of employees are Kalenjins. And if you are given some oil in the tanker, and you check that it's not leaking, you continue, all right? So she went to give the screenshots of what is happening. She talked about tea on sale. Kenya Pipeline has to be sold because 65% of it belongs to Kasongo, Uhuru, Raila, and Museveni. No wonder they had a meeting, and there we can have that photo. You remember that day we had Museveni at Parliament? That's what is happening. So that's hot tea from Maverick anyway. Not me, because I don't know so far. But then let's get to see more. Let's get to see new stuff. So now our president, he has actually had to get money to pay America. Hey, let's just listen to this. I'm surprised. I didn't expect this, but I'm surprised. So let's listen to this. Let's listen to this, guys.
But to polish its image in Washington. That's right. Tonight, KTN investigates a lobbying contract that could drain taxpayers over 325 million shillings a year. Our reporter Haman Kamariki starts us off.
Can you imagine?
Kenyans juggle skyrocketing taxes, doctors down tools, schools cry out for capitation, and hospitals run out of drugs. State House in Kenya has found the money not to plug the gaps at home, but to polish Kenya's image abroad. Documents obtained by KTN reveal a deal signed on August 6, 2025, hiring a U.S. lobbying firm, Continental Strategy LLC, at a staggering 27 million Kenya shillings every month, more than 325 million Kenya shillings a year. The deal signed on August 6, 2025 by Kenya's Piers Abraham Korir Sing'oei with the Continental Strategy LLC led by Carlos Trujillo, a Trump-era U.S. ambassador with strong ties in Washington. Beyond the
Hey, when I hear this,
Kenya will also foot the bill for luxury hotels, first-class flights, chauffeured cars, even fine dining, as the contract is renewed automatically unless cancelled. And the timing is no accident.
So guys, can you imagine that? A lot of money is going to US, and the farm belongs to an ambassador. Remember, during the time that Trump got into office last time, he hired this guy as an ambassador. So he's a close person. And of course, the reason why RUTO is actually doing this is he has realized that, you know, of late, USA are doubting our relations with them. And of course, I can show evidence in this. You remember RIST. RIST was actually saying that they need to reevaluate the relationships between Kenya and US. Why? As a result of the ties that now Kenya has with, not India, but China. All right? Let's listen to this. If you have forgotten, we can play this again to see what happened here.
Just ahead, many African nations maintain troubling ties with China, including key national security partners. Just last month, President RUTO declared that Kenya, a major non-NATO ally, and China are co-architects of a new world order. RUTO stripped the United States and Kenya's designation as a major...
So can you imagine when RIST actually was anchored that Kenya is having ties with China? And China's relations with Kenya brought a lot of mayhem, with USA feeling like they should have now questions on the relation they have with Kenya. Now remember, Trump is having a meeting very soon with the president, all right? But then I just wonder whether RUTO thinks that things are going to work for Kenya. Previously, we've seen Trump actually trashing some other leaders, and here is the evidence. I just want to show you some evidence here, how Trump was trashing some of the leaders, moments of embarrassment. If you check on that, you'll see. There is a day that Trump met Cyril Ramaphosa from South Africa, and that time he had to remind him about the death of so many farmers out of the, you know, the racial war, all right? And he does not have any, he does not care, because recently, yesterday in fact, there was a speech that Trump was giving and suggesting why the Russian war has to end. And he was indicating when that war ends, it will be business for him. He said that a lot of billions are coming from Russia. Remember, Trump is in for business for the just when he stepped in White House, and he has been suggesting that he wants to make America a better place, not a laughingstock. If you saw the yesterday's speech, you saw him saying that we've been a laughingstock for the last regime, and we are now going to regain our place by reviving business. And any country that is going to do business with us, invest in our country, is welcome, and we are going to give it first priority. And of course, he has invited a lot of companies. I can check on some of them, including Amazon. There are humanoid robots. I think there's a company also. Which other company? There was a milk company. Uber also has been given a permit to go on with business. Toyota has also been considered in Trump's regime. And which other? Let me just see, play this one.
And we'll build the largest and most sophisticated smart glass production line in the world in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, which is a great, actually, I did very well there. I like it because I see I did very well there.
On Trump-related news, Toyota Motor cut its full-year operating profit forecast by 16%.
Yeah, so he has had to favor companies like Maya Group, Great Taste, Nissan, Toyota, and the robotic companies from China, Uber, you know. So he has consideration for companies that are coming for business. Now, what is Kenya going to invest in America? Or are they only going to now consider this ambassador and actually give him a task with LLG, hoping that everything that has been said about Kenya will be forgotten, especially the risk report. And then we have what we saw Gashagwa again talking about. That is in relation to Al-Shabaab and all that, and also business with the leader of, is it Somalia and Sudan, something like that. So let's come to check the past evidence that Trump does not give. He does not give a damn about anything. He once actually embarrassed Ramaphosa. And let's just check on this video here.
Of people, death. These are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. 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 Horrible death. Death. I don't know. Pick anyone. White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all. What would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
When will you go and see for yourself if it isn't?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter. This is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a report from President Trump?
Your reaction to those videos?
President Trump.
Well, I think the videos are so. No, when you look at the.
Now, he took a lot of time to really embarrass Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa had gone to America thinking that things will not be looked at. If you remember 21st May 2025, that is exactly when he was embarrassed. So Ramaphosa did not have time to actually get the pleasures he had. You could see sitting on the chair, he's very uncomfortable, you know. And Trump continued to tell him about the failures that he has performed, and he's now so much ashamed to come to America and want some assistance, you know? So let's just check on it, but it is what it is.
Videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that...
Benson Kamau, welcome to the house. Thank you so much.
But I have other friends in South Africa, I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land, and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now, we're going to talk about it, but this is a tremendous, look, this is story recent. These are all people that recently got killed. And I don't
Benson Kamau, hello.
completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
take land. And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No.
Nothing happens.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones.
Now, guys, you saw finally after this discussion, Trump had to go on with what he wanted. He actually had to also even try to ban and, give more bans to the South Africans. And that is when we saw this other guy, this one who says he does not want people to love him, but he wants to tell the truth. I'm just forgetting his name. He came out ballistic saying that if Trump is banning them from America, then they need also to ban people. Anyway, it is what it is. Such moments are not the best. But with what was happening in South Africa, you can see that Trump had to really embarrass, that is Ramaphosa. Now, let's also check on another situation where, where Trump also had to actually embarrass another president. So, what is our president, Kenyan president, expecting? Does he expect that when he gives such a big contract and denies, money that we need in Kenya to Kenyans, then we are really going to gain anything from America? I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning behind this is, but I just think it's embarrassing, and we will be really embarrassed. I am very sure when we go to watch later on whatever we'll watch, we'll see how President Ruto will be embarrassed by Trump, because Trump is not going to rule forever. He's going to rule maybe for 5 years in America and then go away and give another administration leadership. So he will do what he wanted to do and go away. He doesn't give a damn. So let's see another embarrassment moment here. That Trump offers to Zelensky, Volodymyr, those names, Volodymyr Zelensky from Ukraine, the Ukrainian president. The Ukrainian president was also embarrassed at some point by Trump. So what tells Ruto that he will not be embarrassed? I don't know. His advisors, Farouk and Sudi, should do something, but I don't know whether they understand all this. History teaches us. Just as I say, the past and the present are connected, and the future too. So let's check on this.
Both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? It doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America, and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over. The hatred he's got for Putin, it's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so.
Did you know your profitability as a surveyor is directly tied to the
the commercial breaks.
Too many surveyors are stuck.
That's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president in 2019. I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office in the United
Oh my God.
You're in a much better position, but you're not acting at all thankful, and that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together.
My goodness. Yeah, so looking at those moments and also watching the recent speech by Trump, Trump actually stood out and said that what he gains to, he wants to make, to actually regain the position of U.S. and make it what it was, the giant, the respected, the honored, the land of cream de la cream, the land that is respected, the land full of business and all that. So I do not think that Kenya, the Trump will actually give a moment to Ruto without displaying him before the cameras. And I'm so sure the day he will be going there, I'll be so much alert to alert you or rather inform you of what will be happening. But I'm so sure that it will be a moment of embarrassment, just like we saw in the face of the Ukrainian president and the president of South Africa. So it is what it is, guys. We've been here for 41 minutes. Unless there is somebody who wants to raise a question, I think that's all for today. But there is some shenanigans about Malala. I'm forgetting that. Let me close that before we come to the end. So, of course, yesterday during the burial of Andanje Enoch, there was a lot of backlash from Malala. Malala publicly destroying Wetangula and Mudavadi, and a moment of explosion in Kakamega North. All right, so let's go for it before we can end this.
Relax bana. Hapa ni nyumbani bana. Acha na hiyo, mimi sio mtu wa kuharakisha. Mimi nikuja pole pole. Sasa ukizima microphone, mbona uzime microphone yangu? 1 2, mimi najipanganga nikija na gari yangu. Zima naongea. Wewe mimi sio mtu wa kuchezea hapa. Weka yako chini ukitaka. Niseme nisiseme. Niongee nisiongee. Nilijua watafinya nikajipanga. Sasa mimi naomba Wetangula. Jana niliona mkiongea mambo ya katiba, kwamba tutasherehekea katiba. Naona mkikuwa kwa conference mkiongea mambo ya corruption. Wetangula, please step up. Mention the names of the members of parliament. Na kama hautataja tutajua ni wewe ndio uko hiyo corrupt. Na mwisho mambo mengine mimi nitaongea baadaye, lakini mwisho mimi nitakwambia Waluya, it is undisputed the most senior leader in Luyaland is Musalia Mudavadi. Ukweli mimi siwezi jiita senior, Musalia wewe ndio senior. Na mimi nakupatia heshima zote. Mheshimiwa Musalia, sisi tutakufuata. Sisi Waluya tutakufuata. Lakini mpaka utuambie tunatumia barabara gani? Sababu mabarabara za Waluya ni mbaya zote. Utuambie zile 1000 kilometers ambazo tulikuwa tumeambiwa tutaundiwa na Mheshimiwa Ruto. Zimefikia wapi? So Mheshimiwa Musalia, we shall only follow you kwa barabara nzuri. Lakini barabara ya Rough Road, asanteni Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki.
And what shocked me was the fact that the coach were actually saying that when Moses...
So somebody was actually calling and interfering, but I listened to the entire speech, including when he was talking about... Yeah, so guys, as we are ending, I listened to that entire speech, and actually Malala was talking about the roads in Kakamega, and it's true that some of the roads are very poor, very poor, okay, in Kakamega, generally. Because one of the parts of Kakamega was made during Oparanya. Oparanya only helped the part of Butere, Mias, and down there. But when you come to Kakamega North, especially Malava, and interiors of all those ends, like the roads are so poor, all right? Yet it's a sugar zone, and we have a lot of agriculture going on, producing sugar. That is an area that produces sugar in the entire nation, okay? But the roads are poor. Again, Wetangula as from Bungoma, there's a lot of things that are not very right even in Bungoma, security itself, and so many other things. So these are some of the senior leaders that have to do much in the country. So as I come to the end, I really appreciate those who came by handy, and let's wait for what will come by, but we hope for the best, because leadership is the key aspect of a country, whether we like it or not. We like it or not, when leaders are sane, when leaders have integrity, when leaders are focused towards change, when leaders are selfless, when leaders are focused towards making an impression on the nation and changing. All right, so we come to the end of our live stream, and I really appreciate your presence. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, continue liking, and let's grow together, because actually there are people who watch a lot, but they don't subscribe. If we currently had 1,000 subscribers, I would be so glad, because we would be almost approaching our expectation. And if watch hours also reach 4,000 watch hours, we will be there. So guys, continue supporting us. Let's grow together, and like the video, share, and all that. And let's go through this analysis and shenanigans together. Bye-bye for now. Have a good night. Have a good day for those whose day is starting. Because I have people watch me from different countries. I saw Turkey, Ireland, Thailand, South Africa, America, and all those areas, India. And therefore, our time frames are different. So bye-bye for now. Let's see again another time, possibly tomorrow.